This podcast is brought to you by Legend Comics and Coffee in Omaha, Nebraska, located in scenic downtown Benson. They got a new location. It's absolutely gorgeous. Check it out. And by listeners like you. Go to Patreon/Two-Headed Nerd. Become a patron. Support this show.
Once, they were two best friends managing a comic book store. But when an innocent blood oath went wrong, the two found themselves trapped in the same body, imprisoned in a strange pyramid made of long boxes, buried deep below their hometown, where they are doomed to discuss comic books until the end of time. They were once Joe and Matt. Now they are known as the Two-Headed Nerd. And this is their podcast.
Broadcasting from the Ziggurat at Omaha, in caverns deep below the metro area, it is our pleasure to welcome you to episode 804 of the Two-Headed Nerd comic book podcast. I'm your head, number one. My name is Matt Baum, and I hope I still remember how to review new comics.
I just hope that we remember we are not young men and we don't have all fucking night.
Good Lord.
I am the Internet's Joe Patrick, your head number two. It is time for another new comics show, our first new comics of 2026. Yeah, don't worry about January, we got you covered. Where we'll get into deep reviews of 8 comics from the past 2 new comic book days and some shorter reviews of other stuff we read in our Ludicrous Speed Reads reviews. That's right, new name, suckers. After that, we'll set you up with our must-read new comic picks for next week.
In this episode, Thundarr the Barbarian returns to comics. Vertigo's back at DC. Storm gets Earth's mightiest relaunch. Cyclops gets a new series. And Wade Wilson is still Deadpool at Marvel. Plus,
I was worried about that guy. I didn't think we'd ever see him again.
We'll talk about barbarians and the problems with America's modern prison system. And what happens when an orc mommy and a dwarf daddy give each other a very special hug. It ain't Valentine's Day yet, nerds. So buy your comics while you can still afford them if you want to read along, because it's review time in the Ziggurat.
Valentine's Day might not be here, but we're still going to slip into something sexy and flirt with these comics over dinner. But before we do that, let's explain our rating system. Each comic we review is rated using our 3-point scale of buy it, skim it, or leave it. Like the fact that we never put out on the first date, these ratings can be bent and are subject to change. Just don't expect us to make out with you if you think we got it wrong.
We'll still go to second base, though. That's fine. Just no kissing.
I mean, yeah, under the shirt.
Yeah.
Macho, prepare our review comics, the heart-shaped box of chocolates the mole man sent us, and a nice Italian red wine.
Perhaps a Valpolicella. It goes well with chocolates, although we should make sure these aren't full of earthworms or, fungus. This is the mole.
The mole man is a human man. You know that, right?
He hangs out with mole men, dude. I'm just saying.
He might eat worms.
Yeah, he might eat worms.
Gentlemen, I assure you your review prowess will never get you kissed. Here are your review comics for the week of Wednesday, the 4th of February.
My first review for this week is Dork number 1. It's D''ORC. You'll learn why. The story and art is by Brett Bean. The colors are by Jean-Francois Belleau. And the letters are by Nate Picos. I'm going with Picos.
I think it's Picos.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's 28 pages for $3.99. I'm going to give you a little bit of the solicit here for the setup. Armed with nothing but a magical, yet ambitiously violent shield, a lonely orphan stumbles headfirst into Sunderain's never-ending war between the light and dark, elves versus orcs, wizards versus common sense, dragons versus literally everyone, and caught dead center, Dork. Call him Dork because he is part dwarf and he is part orc. That's really, really weird in this world. And I don't think there's any half dwarf orcs I can think of in D&D or anything either.
I don't know.
I've never encountered one. You could make rules for one, I suppose, but not sure why one would want to have sex with the other. No judgment is what it is. There's a very serious narrator here. This is very
love is love.
Love is love. It's very high fantasy. It begins with a map of the world, setting up where everything is. There's a good side. There's a scar in the middle. It's like a demilitarized zone. And then there's a bad side where the bad guys live. our main character, the dork, has a talking shield, and the shield is very bloodthirsty, reminding me very much of Barbaric, Michael Morrissey's Barbaric with a talking axe.
Mm-hmm.
But the character also walks this line of good guy that wants to do the right thing and very violent character as well. That's part of, his duality. He is neither good nor bad. He is neither dwarf nor orc. He is both. And that is a threat to a lot of people, both good and bad in this world, because they fight. That's what they do. There's no in between, right?
He's ebony and ivory come together in perfect harmony.
Well, I don't know if he is in perfect harmony, but
no, he's not.
I think he's trying to figure it out. And that's sort of the push behind the story. And it's well done. I think the art is very good here. It's very cartoony. It reminded me of Burke Breathed. It reminded me of Walt Kelly's Pogo. Like, his cartooning is fantastic.
I mean, Scotty Young is probably the most major touch point because this guy worked on I Hate Fairyland.
Right. And just like I Hate Fairyland, this is an adult book. I just didn't know that until I got about halfway into it when it became really violent and more adult, right?
How much advance notice did you need?
I mean, I didn't need it. I just thought I was reading one thing and then it quickly changed to whereas I Hate Fairyland from page 1 is 100% adult book, no question, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It just shifted and it sort of not like took me out of it, maybe, but there was like humor here that felt like it was trying to appeal to a younger audience. And then all of a sudden it was sort of an adult book. So it threw me a little and I didn't find all the humor very funny. I do think there's some good themes here, outsider type theme of what is it, to be in the middle, to not necessarily be good or not necessarily be bad. Is that okay? Both sides obviously won't agree. We'll find out. This is very Star Wars, bringing balance to the Force stuff, very Lord of the Rings. It reminded me of a lot of things. It's not bad, but I didn't think it was great. I'm giving it a skim it.
Well, I disagree. I did think it was great. Yes, it is very reminiscent of many different things. Like it wears its influences on its sleeve, very much like, obvious. There's an obvious Star Wars parallel. You mentioned Lord of the Rings. And so, yeah, it's all right there. Barbaric, like the talking weapon or device is like straight out of Barbaric.
Yeah.
I thought that this was a ton of fun. I think that like the narration, like the heavy, like in a world of darkness, like I think that is at odds with the tone of the writing and the art on purpose.
Of course, it's part of the joke.
And so like it wants you to think it's this serious fantasy thing, and there are some pretty like there's a serious thing that happens where
sure.
Like Dork is caught off guard by something, and he's just like, oh shit. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess your mileage may vary. I actually thought this was great. This is a buy it for me. I really, really enjoyed it. Having no expectations going in, I was very pleasantly surprised.
Fair.
Well, our next book could have starred a superhero that runs around dick naked, but those prudes at Dark Horse didn't allow it.
I would have paid for it. I'll tell you what. I'm in.
It's Night City #1 from Dark Horse and the Flux House imprint. Script and colors are by Matt Kint. Art is by David Lapham. Letters are by Josh Reed. Cover is by Lapham and Kint. It's 32 pages for $4.99. I think I'm going to read the solicit.
Go ahead.
I'll stop if I feel like it's too much. A legendary hero is caught between two worlds. By day, he soars as a symbol of hope, but the moment he falls asleep, he enters a universe devoid of heroes and he leads a mundane life. As the pressure of his dual universes mount, his heroic self begins to crack, pushing him towards a mental breakdown. The first thing I thought of when I read this was, I don't know how Matt Kint and Jeff Lemire, these who are two sides of the same coin, in my opinion, keep finding new takes on superhero tropes.
Yeah, it's insane.
Every time they put out a book that's even vaguely superhero adjacent, it is like the most inventive thing. this does lean into those tropes, you know, specifically Superman and Lex Luthor. The Knight is very much like a Superman level powerhouse. There are small touches, though, that add a different spin. For example, the Knight doesn't wear shoes or boots. And in fact, he does say in the book that he used to fly around naked and fight crime because he's invulnerable.
Yeah.
What does he care?
What does he need clothes? This is like when we talk about like why is the Hulk wearing shoulder pads and gloves?
Sure,
What's
right.
he need them for?
In another twist, people's love and trust of him fuel his powers. So very much like a gladiator is fueled by confidence, the Knight is fueled by what others believe of him. And so really this comic is about like what happens when the greatest hero in the world decides he's just had enough.
I do love that, like, because of the nature of his powers, he can't kill, because if he starts murdering, people will be like, oh, I don't like it. And he loses his powers.
Right. And so, you know, we see some other things that are kind of amped up to the nth degree, like, you know, how Superman needs a fortress. The Knight also needs a similar fortress, except it's buried so far underground so as to block out all light and sound. But that's even still not enough. So he has to have a Daredevil style sensory deprivation tank, and even that isn't enough. And so we've seen similar ideas before, as I said, but this isn't about the hero going berserk like you might remember from like Mark Waid's Irredeemable. He's just decided that he's tired of the same old bullshit. And he has this moment of weakness, and it's enough for the world to start seeing him a little differently. And then there's the twist where he is going to sleep finally and wakes up in a normal world with no superheroes. But even that is not what it seems. And how is the villain exploiting it? It's all great, compelling stuff. David Lapham, not the first guy I think of when I picture superhero art. But he brings a different perspective because of that to the character designs. Like Knight looks odd compared to traditional superheroes.
Yeah, he looks really weird. Like he barely cares about his costume.
Right. And Zero, who is the Lex Luthor guy, he's got that power armor, but it's also very bizarre. He's got, of course, brilliant storytelling chops. There are multi-page sequences in this book that you could follow perfectly, even if they were wordless. Kent colors the book in his like familiar watercolors, and so it kind of lends that Flux House feel almost, but it also sets it apart from all of the other superhero books on the stance. This comic looks like nothing else. And so it's really tough to resist a new title that comes out of Kent's dome. And you factor in David Lapham, who is one of the greatest indie cartoonists of all time. It is impossible to resist. And this is a huge buy it from me for Night City #1. It takes those familiar ideas, turns them inside out, gives you a new perspective. Buy it.
Yeah, this was great. Like I was not ready for this. And these guys keep cranking this crap out and it's insane. But man, Lapham, who's an artist I love, you can see him working here. It's obviously David Lapham, but he's working in a lot of watercolors and the art just looks different. Like,
well, Kent is doing the watercolors.
Oh, Kent did the coloring. I didn't realize. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man, it brings so much to Lapham's art. And sometimes he lets it just sort of like overflow a bit and just like, man, it's to such great effect. I loved this. I'm giving this a gigantic buy it. And I look forward to more. I don't know when either of these jerks are going to run out of these ideas, but I hope they never do. This book is excellent.
Well, and the good thing about them is that they're usually kind of quick hits, right? It's 2 or 3 issues, other than Black Hammer, which has been a whole saga.
Right. And I love Black Hammer.
You know?
Don't get me wrong. It's been great. And this easily could have been a part of that. Easily. It would have made perfect sense.
Yeah. From the world of Black Hammer, Night City. Yeah,
I do love the line after he revealed that he used to be naked, that like villains used to shoot at his crotch all the time.
Oh, but Black Hammer is Jeff Lemire though. So again, we are conflating the two creators.
Well, but Kent did a bunch of like side stuff. He did several like one shots and some of the minis and stuff. Kent did a lot.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah. Good news, X-fans! The Age of Revelation is over, so creators can get back to telling the story they wanted to tell. And let me tell you, if you thought Storm Stories was wacky where it left off, just take a few month break and then try and jump right back in with Storm, Earth's Mightiest Mutant, #1 from Marvel. It's written by Mirwa Ayodele. Main cover by R.B. Silva and David Curiel. Great cover, by the way. Art by Federica Manson. Colors by Java Tartaglia.
Federica Manson. Not Manson.
Sorry. That might be Manson. I don't know.
No, she's Italian.
Okay. There's no E in the end. We don't know. Letters by VC's Travis Lanham. It's 32 pages. It is $3.99. If you don't remember what was going on, that's perfectly allowed because Storm had her own totally different thing that had nothing to do with Age of Revelation going on in her Age of Revelation book.
There were rhinos, I remember, that wore armor. And stuff.
You're thinking of Rogue Storm.
You're right. I am thinking of Rogue Storm. Thank you, Matt.
Here's a little bit of solicit. The war above all! The most dangerous war in existence thunders louder and closer as the cosmos brace for annihilation. Storm, unaware of the coming threat, turns her gaze inward to her home, to Earth. The Earth's Mightiest Mutant becomes Earth's protector once more in a daring new chapter of life. After a brief recap of the Thunder War, that was when Storm fought a thunder god, not Thor, the thunder god. This was a blue god guy named Sansu.
Yeah, there's a thunder god in every pantheon.
Sure. And during that war, Sansu got his arms cut off. He's upset about that, wants to kill himself. Yeah. What's the best way to kill yourself? Japanese style, right? You're going to cut your head off or you stab yourself in the stomach.
I thought the hijacking of the planet was part of it.
We'll get there. It's a Harry Carey thing. You stab yourself in the stomach and then a buddy of yours cut your head off. And he's like, Storm, I respect you so much for cutting my arms off. I need your help killing myself. And if you don't do it, I want to introduce you to Ego the Living Planet's cousin, Rage the Rogue Planet. I
just want to stop really quickly and talk about how hilarious it is that the concept that a planet can have a cousin.
Sure. Why not? I mean, Ego's a living planet. Living planets have families.
Does he have a mom and dad? Does he have an uncle?
I assume so. I don't know. If he has a cousin, he certainly has an uncle. So, right. That's where cousins come from. Your uncle's kids.
I know where cousins come from.
So there's a nice scene where I think Ayodele does a really good job with Storm as a character in establishing that, like, she is so powerful that she will look for ways not to fight if it's not necessary. And in this, she like has tea with Sansu and tries to talk to him and explain to him, like, no, killing yourself is ridiculous. You don't have to do that.
She drugs his ass.
She also drugs his ass. So the Avengers can throw him into a micro universe where he can't hurt himself. But I mean, like, look, when someone is suicidal, we have to get them help, right? This is the best way to do it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Can't exactly check Sansu in, and hope for the best.
Right.
There's also a mystery with cell phones killing people. The Scarlet Witch, who is Sorcerer Supreme, shows up. Don't love her new outfit. Different story, though. We can talk about that later.
I mean, it's not this book's bag.
No. Ayodele does a really nice job of making Storm vulnerable but powerful, and finds a very moral dilemma here where she can save the world, but it causes a whole new set of problems. The story, very compelling. The problem with the story is the way it's told. Ayodele jumps around sort of from past and future and present and introduces these other ideas of like a small town in France being attacked by magma monsters. That is part of this story, but I didn't connect it to anything that was going on with
yeah,
Sansu.
I mean, dude, like you talked about the cell phone thing, and until you brought it up again, I forgot.
Well, and apparently this is also part.
I read this book today.
Yeah, this is also, I guess, part of what's going on with Sansu and the rogue planet, but there's also like a flying dragon that looks like the dragon from Dragon Ball Z is here and it talks, and it's not Shenron, his name is Sugar.
I think some of this is just to illustrate the idea that Storm is the Earth's protector, and
Yes.
she gets around.
I guess so. But the
I
problem,
don't know that it's all connected necessarily to this main plot.
I believe it
but
is.
It is
because-
kind of hard to parse.
I believe it is because the Scarlet Witch says something directly to that point about what the choice she made and what it's going to do to the Earth, right? So I think it is all kind of connected.
Man, I looked at I looked at the scene with the cell phone choking the guy on the toilet.
The art is very good.
Very good.
It does have some trouble telling the story. Like there's points where Aodeli is telling us what's happening through narration boxes, and the art is there and it looks good, but I didn't quite connect it to what the narration box was telling me, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's just because there's too much going on. This is not a bad comic. I like the way Murwa writes Storm as a character. I like that she is the Earth's mightiest mutant. Like we're giving Storm a big push, right? And that's cool. I like that they're taking chances in this comic. It doesn't feel like it's treading water like a lot of other X books that aren't doing shit. But I can't say the story is the easiest to follow, and this is not a great jumping on point for a number one. I'm giving it a skim it. I thought maybe it was a buy it at first because I like how they're shooting for the stars, but I also think I need to read it 3 more times to know what happened.
I think what's more, I think you need to have been reading Storm since the beginning, because this is essentially Storm number 17 or whatever.
Right. And that's not Aodeli's fault. That is Brevoort's
It's
fault.
marketing.
Let's call it what
it is. So he knew he was getting a new number one. He had a chance to make this accessible, and it is about the least accessible thing I've read.
I think he had already written this. This was probably already written as like Storm 12 or 13.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far Storm got before the Age of Revelation, but
because it certainly does not feel like a number one.
It doesn't feel like a number one. Yes, you're right. And so, yeah, part of that I'm gonna lay at the feet of the marketing team. So this is a skim it for me as well. It's all very well done in terms of like Storm's voice.
Yes.
The art, certainly. And so these are things that I think that the creative team gets absolutely right. But the way the story is told loses me a bit. And part of that is the fact that I am jumping on now with the 10th or 12th or 17th issue, whichever one it is.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's a skim it.
Editorial, once again, not doing the X books any favors. So.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, for our next comic, Matt dared me to do an Ukla the Mock impression, despite the fact that I have not seen Thundarr the Barbarian since I was 4 years old.
He sounds like
But
this.
here we go.
He's so pissed all the time.
It's Thundarr the Barbarian, number 1 from Dynamite. It's written by Jason Aaron with art by Cuber Ball. Colors are by Jorge Sutil, letters by Taylor Esposito. Covered by Michael Cho, that is Chef's Kiss, the embodiment of Alex Toth.
Yeah. Oh, Alex Toth
Yeah.
ghost visited him and went, "Nice job, kid."
I got it. I got this, Cho.
Although
Let me take over.
Toth was famous for being a total shithead, so he'd probably like, "Nice try."
Well, you know, it's 32 pages for $4.99. I'm going to read just a bit of the solicit just because I think it bears repeating if you, like me, were surprised by some things. When a runaway planet hurtled between the Earth and the Moon, cosmic destruction was unleashed and mankind's proud civilizations were cast into ruin. 2 millennia later, the planet is nearly unrecognizable. A harsh and savage realm where sorcery and super science both reign over the powerless masses.
I gotta ask, what surprised you about that?
Now, rising up from their ranks, one man is breaking the bonds that restrained him with the help of his faithful companions, Ariel and Ukla the Mock. He has dedicated his life and the power of his mystical blade, the Sun Sword, to liberating his world from the forces of evil. He is Thundarr the Barbarian, and his story begins here. So, as I said, I was probably like 6 or so when I last saw Thundarr the Barbarian. I loved it as a kid, but all I have in my memory are visuals. And so I did not know that it was like in the post-apocalypse of the actual real world.
There is literally a voiceover that shows society collapsing in the opening.
Again,
and they
I'm telling you exactly what I remember.
exactly what you
much.
just read.
Yeah,
that is the
I was too
opening of the
young
show.
to remember the fine details.
All right.
Jason Aaron, of course, takes these silly concepts and he treats them like they are deadly serious. There's all sorts of themes of like slavery and men breaking bondage. We get scenes of like a bloodied Thundarr beating a rat man captor to death with his own chains. It's wild.
I got news for you, buddy. The cartoon was this serious. They just didn't show the violence. It was no joke, like hardcore.
I understand. And so I was, a little bit stunned, and I was on board by this take. There's also some timey-wimey time travel stuff. And there's this implication that maybe the villains reached back into the past and changed history. We're going to see how that plays out. The art by Ball is very good.
Fuck yeah.
He draws with these like clean, thick lines, insanely detailed backgrounds. The human characters especially are well drawn. Like they're very, very expressive and emotive. Some of the creatures and villains look a little silly, but look, the dude's working with what he was given. Like he didn't design any of this stuff. So, like I said, I have vague but fond memories of the cartoon from childhood. It is the perfect concept for Jason Aaron to put a modern spin on. This is what this guy does. He did it with TMNT. He just stepped in with a new idea and like fucking rocked it.
Yeah.
This is a great first issue, fantastic art. And as an artist, he was totally new to me. I'm looking forward to more. This is a buy it.
So Aaron and Ball both are paying very close attention to the Thundarr the Barbarian cartoon. And I say this is a guy who I love Thundarr. That shit is burned into my brain. Those episodes are incredible. And the designs, he studied these character designs. You can tell, and did the work. Plus, this art, it's sort of like a 70s heavy metal take on Toth's art, right? It's still very cartoony. He's using all the stuff, but it feels like this could be in the pages of heavy metal. This is awesome. It's got this really raw, violent, sort of human, mushy take to everything that just looks.
It is very
awesome.
raw, yeah.
Oh, I loved this. It was a ton of fun. And look, I'm not going to bag on other Dynamite, comics that are bringing back old cartoons and stuff. But if there is a model for the way that it is done, this is it. This is absolutely it. I would love to read Thundercats and enjoy it. I would love to read Silverhawks and enjoy it. I would love to read Space Ghost and enjoy it. But they're all kind of boring. This was fucking awesome. I'm giving this a huge buy it. I loved this.
Without bad-mouthing anybody, that just shows this absolute strength of Jason Aaron as a writer. There's a reason why the guy is top of the heap.
I think you can be too slavish when you're adapting this stuff and fall into a trap of making it kind of boring or trying to update it too much so it loses its soul and
unrecognizable.
Yeah, and it just becomes like, that's not what I was here for. This is perfect. It walks the line. Some of these panels look like they could be airbrushed on the side of a conversion van. This is great.
That is true. Yeah.
I've loved this book. Huge buy.
I'm thinking specifically of that panel after Thundarr beats that rat to death with his own chains, and he's just yelling like "Freedom!"
Yeah,
Braveheart style.
It's like the first time we see him.
Yeah, put that fucking thing on a van.
Fuck yeah, man! Loved this.
No love letters yet, sirs, but keep gushing about barbarians and you'll find that special, hunky someone, I'm sure. Here are your review comics for the week of Wednesday, the 11th of February.
Thank you, Macho, and we will continue our Barbarian programming with Barbarian Behind Bars, number 1 from Mad Cave. It's written by Elliott Kalan, main cover by Francesco Tomaselli, art by Andrea Moody, letters by Taylor Esposito. I'm going to read a little bit of the solicit too. I know we try not to, but it's a good setup.
Sometimes you gotta. Who
Who is the mysterious muscle-bound warrior who came to our world in a storm of magic and violence? That's what public defender Irene Chang wants to know. The guy came out of nowhere, doesn't speak English, and now she's supposed to help him beat a murder charge after he chopped some other weird dude's head off with a magic axe in broad daylight. Of course, he may not live to go to trial with all the enemies he's making in prison. Good thing his cellmate grills a mean cheese sandwich. Barbarian Behind Bars is the fight-packed fantasy prison thriller you didn't know you always needed.
Every single word in that solicit is true.
Absolutely. It's a perfect solicit. It sets us up perfectly. I had no idea what I was going to get, but like a lot of good 70s grindhouse movies, the title tells you exactly what you're going to get. Barbarian in prison, right? Kalan's story gets right into the action. It feels like what would have happened if the Highlander got arrested, or if Exo Manowar never found a suit that translated for him.
It reminded me a little, at least in terms of, it's more serious than this, but that issue of What If where Conan shows up in the present day and he immediately he gets, there's a Conan with a gun and he becomes a pimp.
Right.
There's all sorts of weirdness.
Yeah. This is Dolph Lundgren's He-Man. If he showed up and murdered some Skeletor and the cops were just freeze. You just killed somebody. That's against the law. And then
you speak in runes.
Right. And the barbarian doesn't speak any English. So when he does finally sit down with his exhausted public defender, who's just I don't even know what I'm going to do here. This guy definitely murdered somebody. He doesn't speak any English. And the poor barbarian, I wish they wouldn't have translated it, to be perfectly honest, because from Moody's art, which is watercolor and beautiful as always. This guy is Moody is fantastic. Just the art tells enough story. There's something magic going on. That's obviously the bad guy. The good guy accidentally cuts this dude's head off. Gets lucky.
No, not accidentally. No, he cut that dude's head off.
That was the goal, but what I'm saying was he was completely outclassed and he got lucky and cut this dude's head off and saved everybody. The cops don't get it. The people in prison don't understand him. The Nazis want to recruit him.
Yeah, right. Because he's obviously a Viking.
Yeah, there's so much great stuff going here. It's just a fun idea. It's really, really well drawn or painted. I'm not even sure what this process is.
I think it's drawn with painted color.
Okay.
Yes.
Moody is so good. And a lot of this is talking heads. A lot of this is a public defender looking exhausted, talking to her ex-boyfriend who dealt in ancient languages, who still has the hots for her. But they do such a great job with those little human moments that this feels like a really well done grindhouse 70s, 80s film. I had a ton of fun with this. I'm giving this a buy it. It's Law and Order meets Dolph Lundgren's He-Man, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's apt. This was great. I was looking forward to this once I saw whose name was on it in the credits box. We liked Maniac from New York.
Oh, yeah.
Elliott Kalan. I am a fan of Elliott Kalan. He was a writer for The Daily Show. He's also one of the hosts of the Flophouse podcast on the Maximum Fun Network.
Sure.
And he has written quite a few comics. One of his comics that he wrote for Marvel was Spider-Man and the X-Men, which has been memed to death because it's like Spider-Man talking to Sauron. And he's like, you could be curing cancer. What's wrong with you? And Sauron's like, I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs. And this comic is so good. It's so much fun. The art is gorgeous. Yeah, this is a huge buy it. Mad Cave. If you have not checked out Mad Cave Comics, you definitely should.
Mad Cave.
They put out high quality books.
They really do.
The moment that we've been waiting for since 2000 and I don't even know. 2020? 2021? is finally here. The return of Vertigo Comics. This is Bleeding Hearts #1 from DC Comics Vertigo imprint, written by Deniz Camp, with art by Stephen Morian, colors by Matt Hollingsworth, letters by Hassan Otsmane Alhau, cover by Morian. It's 40 pages for $3.99. Here's the solicit. The zombies won, and 10 years after the fall of humanity, they're the dominant form of life, or not life, on Earth. They've developed their own cultural practices, their own language, their own society. Mouse pokes golf ball through hole in head, Poke for short, is a beloved member of his community, and with his brother in arms, Mush, he's happy to shamble along through the only world he can remember, until the day his heart mysteriously starts beating again. And in a blink, the first humans he sees have stopped looking like food and have started looking like friends? So technically speaking, Vertigo returned last week with the nice House by the Sea. This, however, is the first brand new Vertigo comic in like 6 years. Camp wastes no time establishing how this version of a post-zombie apocalypse works. The world building is tremendous. In fact, almost the entire comic is world building. I loved things like the very literal naming convention for the various characters. Like the zombies have no memory of their past lives. Right. And so it's just like mouse pokes hole through head.
Yeah, it's almost like this like old school Native American like naming convention.
Sure, right, exactly. There are so many fun ideas packed into this comic, like the idea that zombies love suburbs for some reason. And they seem so random until Camp makes a good case for why they're here. There are a couple of very genuine moving moments, like especially between Poke and Mush. There's this moment where they talk about kind of their bond and how they solidify that bond that I was like, oh man, that's gross and also very sweet. I'm really curious to see now what happens as Poke learns more about his condition, because you learn about it right off the bat. And he's fighting it, and he doesn't know what it means. The art is wonderfully dynamic. Stephen Morian was the artist of Camp's 20th Century Men. And so these two are reunited on this book. The characters are super exaggerated. The designs are lighthearted. You know, it keeps things kind of elevated or lifted a little bit despite the constant horrors, and there is a ton of gore. The colors by Hollingsworth are so lush. The art and the color together reminded me of like graffiti style art or old underground comics. Sort of. Yeah, I can see that. And I thought that Hassan's lettering in this comic was Eisner worthy. The way, the formatting that he's adding to the letters, incredible. It does look really good. It looks like really high quality European comic lettering. I mean, I don't know why I say it like that. It's hard to describe. Yeah. You have to kind of see it. Yeah. Man, is it good to have Vertigo back. I'm just so happy. Camp and Morian, like, they nail it right out of the gate. This is a thoughtful new take on a very well-worn genre. Vertigo is the perfect home for a book like Bleeding Hearts. This is a buy it. I thought it was excellent. You really can't go wrong when you lead off with Deniz Camp, you know. And like that's a great way to start. But there's so many zombie comics on the stands right now, and they all do very similar things. Deniz Camp, it feels like the exercise to me was, okay, I want to tell a zombie story from the point of view of the zombies. This is zombie slice of life, right? So like you said, there's horror here. They're eating people. There's disgusting things happening. But this is just everyday shit for zombies. This is Tuesday. This is what they're doing. It's just their nature. It's like being mad at a bear. It's zombies going to work, man. You know, it's just, zombies at the office, if you will. And the art is
excellent. The coloring as well. Like the zombies are disgusting. They're green. They're distended. They're super gross.
Yeah, green and gray and bloated and falling apart. Some of them don't have heads or torsos.
Yeah. And there's even a scene where like a person, like a human being shows up and they're running away and they're shooting at zombies. And the person appears to be like the most violent thing in that scene. The zombies are just like coming at you, like gonna eat you. Here we go.
Yeah, right.
So it just sort of turns all of that on its head and does a wonderful job. And the book looks incredible all the way down to the lettering. I think this is just a really great take on zombies. And this felt like a Vertigo comic. This felt like a Vertigo comic. It didn't feel like they're forcing it. It didn't feel like they're stamping Vertigo on something because we don't know what else to friggin' do with it. This feels like a Vertigo exercise. I really enjoyed this. Yeah, it's a massive buy it. This is a great comic book.
Welcome back, Vertigo.
Truly, welcome back, Vertigo.
Yeah, we missed you.
Get back to our regular X programming and check in on the latest Shadows of Tomorrow X-Men comic launch. Shadows of Tomorrow is your new push post Age
It's
Revelation.
an initiative, if you will.
True. It's initiative, I suppose. It's Cyclops #1 because you demanded it. Cyclops gets his own series. It's from Marvel. It's written by Alex Packnadel. The art is by Roge Antonio, who I believe did the main cover as well. It's a great cover. Colors by Fernando Cifuentes. Letters by Joe Caramanga. 32 pages, $4.99. Let's just do the solicits. We've been doing it. The One-Eyed X-Man Unleashed! Scott Summers is a mutant who is always in near total control of his powers and his emotions, but what happens when he's separated from the X-Men? Lost in a mountain wilderness without the visor that keeps his devastating powers in check, and will he be able to stay alive when Donald Pierce and his cyborgs, the Reavers, are hunting him? It's a tale of the X-Men's leader at his most savage core.
The cover is by Federico Vicentini, I think. Vicentini?
Yeah, Vicentini. I don't know. Yeah.
And Marcio Menes.
It's a great cover.
It is a very good cover.
Just reading that solicit, my first thought is, I do not care. I don't care about the Reavers. It's very hard to like Scott Summers.
I mean, I've always kind of liked the Reavers, but I don't care about a new set of Reavers.
The idea of the Reavers is kind of ridiculous to me today. Back in the 80s, I get it.
Sure.
Donald Pierce took some weirdos and
they were dudes that Donald Pierce found drunk in an Australian pub and turned them into cyborgs.
They're crazy, whatever. But like modern day, again, Pierce is making Reavers. Right. And again, he found them at their lowest or whatever. But I gotta wonder, what are these assholes getting paid? Because this is awful what they're going through.
I think they're in it. I think they're in it for the love of hating muties.
Maybe. But I will say, Packnadel does a thing here. And I really like the way Alex Packnadel writes comics. I don't think it's his fault that a lot of his assignments have been in the middle of different, events, spin-offs, whatever. Like he didn't have a lot to work with, but he's always done a lot with what he does have to work with. And I got to say, this new sort of Pierce Blade Runner mission that he has for the Reavers is kind of cool. Donald Pierce has learned a lot, and he's like, look, we're not going to kill the mutants. That's not the idea. They are a treasure. We need to use them, enslave them, and make them work for us.
Yeah, turn the mutants into Reavers.
Yeah, turn them into, the replicants from Blade Runner so they do the jobs we can't do to serve humanity. That's pretty cool. That makes a lot more sense. It's like, I just want to kill him, man. I want to kill him. I hate him. I want to kill him. And I got to say, this comic starts with hardcore Sergeant Scott. He going so far as yelling down Magik.
Not my favorite.
I don't need I need soldiers. And I was like, I don't care about this, Scott. I don't want to read about this, Scott. But Packnadel is showing us this is an act. This is Scott in charge. This is how Scott thinks he needs to be when he runs the X-Men. In this story, he's delving into his past. He's going to visit the orphanage that Havoc blew up in the pages of Aliens, which I forgot about. Right? But it was the orphanage that they were in as kids. And we learned like there was some truly terrible shit that happened at that orphanage. And we get
the Essex State Home for Foundlings.
Yeah, I wonder who ran that.
Sounds evil.
Well, who do you think Essex is named after?
Yeah, I mean, I know that it's evil.
Okay.
I know that it was Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, a bunch of terrible shit happened there, and it traumatized Scott, and it traumatized Alex. And you see Scott, like this memory where Scott's talking to the woman that drove him to the orphanage, talking about how when they tried to separate the brothers, Scott like attacked and took down 2 orderlies protecting his brother and like bit one so deep that the guy had to get tetanus shots and shit. And Scott's like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all, because he's just repressed.
And then one time he set fire to the place.
He's just
to stop them.
He's repressed all this shit, and that is why Scott Summers is broken. He's
trauma.
He's a broken character because he's traumatized, and Packnagle is sort of like digging into those wounds and also telling a compelling story about the Reavers again as well, and how a stupid accident pulls Scott Summers into what Donald Pierce was doing. And we're going to get just a story of Scott at his worst without his visor. That's when he's most terrified, when he's completely out of control and he doesn't have his all-powerful girlfriend to just shut it down. I think this is a really interesting take on Cyclops. The art is outstanding.
It's really good. Yeah.
Rose Antonio does it's important. You got to get, the optic blast, and you got to do it well. And he does some really cool tricks with it. It looks great. I will say, I don't need everybody drawing the beast with this eyeliner. I don't need it.
I don't. So to be fair to Antonio, he draws Ryan Stegman's beast.
Yes.
And you know what? Like, he's following in lockstep with what has been established.
That's a look.
Beast is terrible looking.
I don't want it. I don't need it. Just
draw the fucking beast.
This is a great first issue, though. And I think it's a really interesting look into why Scott has been such a dick for so long and made so many mistakes. And I'm hoping Alex Packnagle can heal Scott Summers. I love Cyclops. I want to enjoy Cyclops again. I have not loved Cyclops for a long time. This is a buy it.
This scene where the visor blows off his face is so good.
It's great.
It's so good. So that's the thing, right? Is that the second Scott is away from the X-Men and he's on his own, that veneer is gone.
Yeah.
And we get vulnerable, traumatized guy that's trying to live with the memory of what happened to him. And Packnagle nails it with that take. The art is wonderful. It's so good. The Essex State Home for Foundlings is not just in Nebraska. You wouldn't know it to look at it, but it is in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, no shit.
Yes.
I missed that.
In this completely wooded over quarry area above a mine. I mean, that's the famous Omaha mine.
That's Ponca Hills, dude. I mean, whatever.
Sure, right. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's good, man. Cyclops #1 is good. It's a buy it. I didn't think it was going to be good, but yeah.
Packnagle is a great writer, and I'm glad he's getting
pleasantly
a chance to shine.
surprised.
Yeah, I really like this. Yeah, Rose Antonio, ready for the big time. Give this guy a major title.
Well, I believe he is a Stormbreaker.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. We're sticking with the Shadows of Tomorrow for our final book of the week. It's Wade Wilson, Deadpool #1 from Marvel. It's written by Ben Percy with art by Jeff Shaw, colors by Alex Sinclair, letters are by VC's Joe Sabino, cover by Shaw and Sinclair. It's 32 pages for $4.99. Here is a bit of your solicit. Deadpool is a man on the brink, and that means the jobs are deadlier, the stakes are higher, and the humor is darker than ever before. But Wade Wilson isn't laughing. A dark memory haunts Deadpool as a mysterious client leads him down a troubling path. This way lies redemption? No, something far worse. Wade can never be forgiven for what he's done. ... This is legacy number 351 for those of you keeping score. And if you thought to yourself, hey, didn't Deadpool have a daughter a couple of months ago? Join the club. Percy is making her absence part of the story, though. It's the reason why we find Wade trying so hard to kill himself. And there's even like a thing in the back that's like, if you or somebody you love is affected by suicide, call the hotline. Like, Deadpool wants to die.
Yeah. At least he's trying harder than usual to kill himself.
Right. But I mean, the thing is that he knows it's never going to work.
Right.
So something very, very bad happened between this volume and the last, obviously involving the daughter. The first scene, though, is so absurd that I don't know if I hated it or loved it. And I'm still not sure. Percy,
I liked it.
I think I liked it if
it's just Deadpool enough that like,
yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Like this is what you come
it's
here
Deadpool,
for.
It's Deadpool enough.
This is what you come here for.
Deadpool has an Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls moment at the beginning of this comic book. And it's wild, man. Percy has Wade's voice down pat. Some of the quips are pretty funny. And I thought that the hook for future issues was intriguing. Like, through the midst of all this self-destruction, something happens and Wade is like, oh, what's this now? Is this how I'm going to come back from this terrible thing that's happened? And of course, now we know from the solicit that it is not. But that's for future issues. Jeff Shaw's on the art. I'm normally a fan. I love that dude. I thought his art was a little loose at times in this issue.
Really? See, I thought this looked incredible.
A little bit here and there. He still delivers some great action scenes, but there are also plenty of scenes where characters are just kind of hanging out in empty panels. I also did not love Sinclair's coloring in this particular issue. So I thought that the art had some issues. It's another day, another Deadpool #1. This creative team is a decent fit to tell Wade's ongoing adventures. I just thought that there were some things here and there that kind of took me out of it a little bit. I'm hoping that they tighten up the execution for future issues. I'm going to keep reading for now. I'm giving it a strong skim it. Yeah. Another Deadpool #1.
I didn't have the same problem with the art. I thought this looked great. Like really great. Like I come to Deadpool
when it's good, when it's great, it's really great.
I come to Deadpool for violence, for shooting, for action, and goddamn, Jeff Shaw delivers. The explosions are great. The gore is gross. It looks awesome. There are some scenes that, I mean, I agree. It's just a character with some backgrounds, but I think at that point we're just doing dialogue. It's just a thing. And I'm okay with that. That didn't bother me. I think the coloring looks great. I'm not really sure what
I thought it was a little like oversaturated, I think Alex Sinclair for me personally is a little bit hit and miss.
I kind of like that though, because it's a Deadpool story and I want it to be oversaturated and ridiculous. And I think they also kind of captured, if you like the Deadpool movies, you're going to feel okay here with this #1. You will recognize this character. This sounds like Ryan Reynolds, right? And
sure,
it's easy to write a funny, wacky Deadpool who's essentially Bugs Bunny with guns, but it's harder to capture that Ryan Reynolds delivery. And I think Ben Percy did a really nice job of that. And it's been a while since I have said that I like Ben Percy writing. I think his writing has been pretty egregious for a while now.
He's had his moments, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice to see him doing what he does, the extreme violence, the rated R, red band, super bloody, crazy gore, but also...
How is this not a red band comic, by the way? Like, how did they miss that opportunity?
I don't know what a red band comic is anymore, Joe, or if we gave up on that or whatever.
It's lost all meaning.
I think we gave up on it. But he fits really well with Deadpool. I think he's doing a great job. I think Jeff Shaw made it look great. I haven't cared about Deadpool for a while. I'm going to read this comic. This was good. I'm giving it a buy it. This is fun.
Oh, there's a funny North by Northwest joke that you have to. It's just a visual thing. I thought it was kind of fun.
But it is fun. Yeah. No, I really like this, though. I think so far, now that we're out of Age of Revelation, I've read more good X stuff than bad. But I'm going to talk about a couple that aren't as good in just a minute.
In the extra, I think we're gonna address some of that
right here. I'm going to talk about
those
one.
concerns.
So, right now.
Oh, that's fair. All right, fine. That is it for the reviews, but these were not the only comics we read in the past 2 weeks. It is time for the newly rechristened Ludicrous Speed Reads, where we give short shrift to everything else we read.
Ludicrous Speed! Go!
Ladies and gentlemen, I read DC versus AEW #1, so you don't have to. With that said, I think Steve Orlando had a lot of fun writing this. Don't go into this looking for any explanations as why the AEW characters know the DC characters.
It's Wham.
But this is beyond Wham. Wham are super powered wrestlers. These are the actual AEW characters, and they go in to fight actual super powered people, and they don't get killed. I mean, like, I agree. Darby Allin, he's a badass. Can he hang with Batman? No, he cannot. I'm sorry. The art is good. There's a clever thing they do with Kenny Omega that you can see coming if you know anything about Omega and DC Comics. This is a skim it.
I was gonna joke. Did they like make him Bromega's brother or something?
No, nothing like that. But I'm gonna give this a skim it, which is much higher than I thought I was gonna give it. I also read Bug Wars, the Spider-Witch special from Image. This was not just a special, but actually a pretty good introduction to Bug Wars. Like, if you just pick this up, you could read about the Spider Witches and go, that's fucking awesome. I want to read more of this.
Presumably, you would think that this is going to lead to like another volume.
I believe there is more Bug Wars coming. Yes.
Yeah.
This is 3 stories. Mahmud Asrar is on the art for the first 2. Fantastic. Draws one, or writes one as well, and it's really good. This was a lot of fun. I loved Bug Wars. I highly encourage you to pick this up. If you like it, you'll go back and read the other Bug Wars. You'll love it. Magik and Colossus #1 dropped last week too from Marvel. And guess what? If you have been waiting for Colossus to stop being such a fucking crybaby and finally be a badass again, don't pick up this comic, because guess what? He's still a crybaby, and Magik's still a bitch, and we're not doing anything with these characters.
What's he even sad about?
God, everything, Joe. Everything. All of it. He's just sad boy #1. That's all Colossus is, and I'm so tired of it. Just please.
I mean, he is the X-Men's preeminent sad boy.
One of my favorite X-Men, and they have not done anything interesting with this character that I can think of. Maybe since Age of Apocalypse. I don't know. It's been a long goddamn time. It's not a leave it. It's a low fucking skim it. You don't need to buy this comic. What'd you read last week, Joe?
Last week, I read Absolute Superman #16. It's Absolute Superman versus Absolute Hawkman, and the seeds from Absolute Evil are starting to bear fruit. Things are not looking good for anyone. It's Hawkman's brutal origin. Brainiac goes to a birthday party. It's fucking bad. It's a nightmare, you guys. It's awesome. It's a buy it.
The design on Absolute Hawkman is so fucking cool.
I love it.
Oh my God.
I love it.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Batman #6. This is the best Batman has been in ages. Maybe a decade? Maybe more than a decade? I don't know.
A while, definitely.
6 straight issues of perfection. Plus, Hugo Strange, who is one of my all-time favorite villains, is back. There's something bad in that back to tank. Ooh. If you listen to the Gang Hang, you know what it is.
Bad.
That is a tomorrow problem. This book, if you've been disappointed with the state of Batman, you should be reading Matt Fraction's Batman.
It's great.
It is sublime.
It is great.
I also read, just because, why not, Archie X Army of Darkness #1 from Dynamite. Have you noticed lately the trend of these crossovers just using the X instead of anything else?
Well,
like
I don't know
or meat or whatever.
If you do an X when it's not versus.
It's a very video game thing.
It's not versus.
Video game.
It's not with. It's just X.
Sure.
You know.
It's Archie multiplied by Army of Darkness #1.
Well, that you call it Archie, and Army of Darkness is here too.
Right, yeah. No.
I guess.
Look, the bottom line with this one is if you want to see horrible murders drawn in the Archie house style, then this is the book for you. Eric Burnham, who has made a name for himself writing Ghostbuster stuff at IDW, his script has plenty of fun, self-aware moments. The novelty wears off kind of quick. It's not bad. I just don't need more. It's a skim it.
Joe Patrick, what did you read this week? And you asked me, Matt, I don't see any of your books from this week. You know why? These are the 2 books that I read this week, asshole. It's the only 2 I had time to read.
You want to take one and I'll take one?
No. Go ahead. I'll talk about them with you.
I mean, you chime in.
That's fine.
So I read The Crown, A Tale of Hell #1 from Dark Horse. This is Mike Mignola and his brother Todd weaving a tale about Hellboy's family in hell.
Where the fuck
It's Game of Thrones in hell.
Where did Todd Mignola come from?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. And what, like, Todd Mignola?
Yeah, you know. Well, Mike is his brother, or what?
Sure, right. The art by Warwick Johnson Cadwell, who is probably one of the most British-sounding persons I've ever heard of, is bonkers, y'all. It's weird.
Kick-ass.
I loved it.
I love this art.
It's a buy it. It's good.
It's a buy it. This is kick-ass. Game of Thrones in Hell is a perfect way to set it up.
What a pitch. Yeah, absolutely. Nailed it. Marc Spector, Moon Knight #1 from Marvel. This is like the 18th relaunch of Jed McKay's Moon Knight. I don't even know.
If we're not on volume 20, I'll eat my shoe.
I lost track of Jed McKay's Moon Knight, no joke, like 3 relaunches ago. I jumped in with this. Good news, you don't really need to know anything because it throws you right into the deep end. If you haven't read what came before, all you need is right here on the page. The art by Devmalia Promanik is bananas.
Yeah. It's wild.
This artwork is so good.
I really, really like it. And they keep finding these weirdos for Moon Knight. They're like, every time I'm like, I don't know if the Moon Knight art can get any weirder. Like, oh yeah? Check out Mr. Pramanik.
I mean,
here.
like, look, we got Alessandro Capuccio.
Yeah, fantastic.
And then he became too much of a star, and now they've had to put him on bigger name stuff. So hopefully Pramanik gets the same treatment because this book looks gorgeous.
This art is great. All you need to know is like, you don't want to take Moon Knight hostage. It's a nightmare.
No,
don't.
Right. I mean, you need to. I would say that you need to know the bare minimum about Moon Knight, and if you're buying Moon Knight #1, you probably already do.
Sure, and you should. It's a great book. It's the best.
This is a buy it.
It's the only Jed McKay book you need to read at Marvel.
You don't need to tear a guy down.
I love it. I love him.
I just don't think he's a teen book guy. That is it for new comic reviews. But now it's your turn. Head to our Discord and join in the new comic talk. And join us for this weekend's Gang Hang, where you can tell us just how wrong we were about all of these reviews. But as I said at the beginning, don't expect us to make out with you if that's the case.
It is time to head up to the THN Sanctum Sanctorum, where we make our must-read picks for next Wednesday, February 18th. Joe Patrick, these nerds are buying one comic book next week. What's it going to be?
Look, man, for my money, it's Ultimate Spider-Man 24 from Marvel.
Perfect jumping on point. Perfect jumping on point.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a jumping on
I'm
point.
making
This
fun
is
of
just
you.
a must-read pick.
Relax.
It's got art by Marco Cicchetto and David Messina. It's 48 pages for $6.99. I cannot help it, you guys. I am totally invested in Hickman's version of the Parkers. I need to see how it all shakes out.
Yeah.
I need to know what's up with all of these Mysterios. I don't think we're going to find out. And I need to see if Pete, MJ, Uncle Ben, and Uncle Jonah make it out alive with the kids.
There's no way. There is no way.
My emotional well-being is so tied up into the ending of this series that we already know that Pete makes it out because he's in Ultimate Endgame right now, but whatever.
Fair enough.
Matt,
I
what's
got
your pick?
Bad news for you, buddy. I'll take it a little step further. This is the most interesting the Parkers have been at Marvel Comics in years. years.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yes.
My pick for next week is Wolverine, Weapons of Armageddon, number 1 of 4 from Marvel. It is written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Luca Maresca. The art looks incredible. It is 32 pages. It's $5.99. Chip Zdarsky writing Captain America. It's been very good, and he's planting the seeds for Armageddon, which is this summer's big Marvel event. Little did we know, I had no idea this was even coming. It kicks off in the pages of this 4-issue mini, The Road to Armageddon, starring Wolverine.
And also in Captain America. So both books leading to Armageddon.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the road to Armageddon, Joe.
Right.
We love roads. And guess who's here? Nuke. I love
Gotta
Nuke.
be Nuke. Yeah.
No, and you know what? I'm just going to say it. Wolverine has not been a lot of fun to read for a while. I'm looking forward to reading Chip Zdarsky's Wolverine.
Yeah, that's fair.
Excelsior!
That's it for THN 804. If you dig our new comic reviews and you forgot we even did them, congratulations, they're back. And you can subscribe.
Who could blame you?
You can subscribe to our new comics reviews on our YouTube channel. We put up pictures there too. If you don't want to, just listen and picture what this looks like, you can see it. Be sure to like.
Because I have made so many banners.
It's awesome. You can like, you can subscribe, you can star, review us wherever you get your podcast, because it really does help. Commenting is great, because right now there's a lot of robots that go out there and watch videos, and so they dial that back so it doesn't count views. Comments from people help.
Next week, the Back Issue Show returns, and our DC KO coverage is coming with it. What happens when Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman fight Superman, Wonder Woman, and someone else?
Who cares?
Could it be?
I want to know when they fight Sub-Zero, Joe.
Yeah, we're going to do that too. Who will be the new King Omega? It is all happening, Fight fans. I'm going to tell you what. I read DC KO number 4 this week, and there was a 2-page spread in that book that is so buck wild that I had to stare at it for like 5 minutes before I was like, did that really happen?
We'll talk about it next week. In the meantime,
yeah, we will.
THN is a listener-supported podcast, and it wouldn't be possible without the generosity of donors like our newest patron, Matthew Peterson. If you support the show, like Matthew, who's also probably staring at DCKO number 4 right now, you can hear this week's extra. You may have noticed we skipped reviewing new comics in January, so it's time for a supersized Ludicrous speed reads where we discuss everything we read last month. It's time to be a patron at patreon.com/2headednerd. You know how it works. Go there. Pay us. We need it.
Before we go, our weekly shout out goes to one of our oldest listeners, Chris, the British guy, and his wife, Hannah. The couple welcomed their first child, Oscar, to the world late last week. Both mother and son are doing great. That kid is adorable. Word to you, Bell family.
Until next time, true believers, remember to pre-order your comics or your retailer might send Storm to cut the Quad God's legs off. And man, that dude, we need those gold medals, okay?
We need them stems, guys.
Is the Two-Headed Nerd signing off.
The Quad God.